Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. There is one nomination for board chair, Mr. Jason Hicks. Ms. Baker, will you please take roll call vote?
Mr. Mullins?
Yes.
Mr. Vanover?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Rassman?
Yes.
Mr. Hackman?
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Hicks, and at this time, I will turn the meeting over to you.
All right. Thank you. At this time, we'll have nominations for vice chairman. Do I hear any nomination for vice? Well, actually, I'd like to make a nomination for vice chair myself for Mr. Hackney. And do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Do we have any further nominations? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Congratulations, Mr. Hackney. Tanya Baker is recommended to be the clerk of the board. Do I have a motion for Tanya Baker in that position?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We have a recommendation to name Lacey Edwards as the deputy clerk. Do I hear a motion in favor of this?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, by saying no. Deidre Deal has been recommended as the designee of the division superintendent. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
And motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Board members, you have copies of the meetings and dates and times for school board meetings. Are there any recommendations for changes or revisions? Very good. All right. Hearing done, do I hear a motion to approve the 2025 meeting dates and times?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. And so as you've reviewed the protocol procedure for public comment, sign up, and consent items, are there any discussions on changes and the continuation of video monthly meetings? Any discussion on that? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve these protocol procedures?
So moved.
Your second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? And finally, do I hear a motion to adopt the Webster's New World Roberts Rules of Order, simplified and applied, as the guide for school board meetings?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Board members, have there been any discussions regarding changes or revisions to the agenda or meeting procedures? Any discussion there? All right. Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn the reorganizational meeting?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion there? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And any objections, by no. Reorganizational meeting is adjourned. So now we'll begin the January 25 monthly Dickenson County School Board meeting is now in session. For the record, I'd like to recognize that all school board members are present, including Tanya Baker, our school board clerk, Scott Mullins, school board attorney, and Haiti Robinson, division superintendent. This time, if you would all please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Board members, we have an agenda for tonight's meeting. Are there any additions or revisions of the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we would like the board's approval to add to the agenda item proposed revision to the DCPS policy, cell phone free education.
So do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of the cell phone free education DPS policy?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. That brings us to the public comment section of our meeting. Mr. Hackman, will you please read the guidelines for public comment? Ms. Martin, will you please be our timekeeper?
Period of time for public comment will be designated on the meeting agenda during which the public may comment on issues related to public education. Dickenson County School Board believes that the citizens of the county should be heard and that this is an acceptable format for receiving public comment. After the public comment section of the meeting is closed, the public shall not be allowed to participate in general board member discussions regarding agenda items. Public participation with the board members regarding agenda items can be disruptive, and the practice is prohibited by Robert's Rules of Order. It is the desire of the school board to treat each member of the public fairly and equally. Allowing one individual to participate while excluding others is unfair. The board may hold such public hearings as may be necessary to allow the public to more fully express their concerns, or the board may place the public comment section of any meeting at the end of the meeting to allow additional public comment. While we do not wish to restrict the free expression of opinion, we feel that certain restrictions may be necessary so that order and reasonable standards of decorum may be maintained. We ask that the following standards be adhered. The speaker will be recognized by the chair. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes. Speakers will refrain from the use of vulgarity or profanity and will avoid negative or embarrassing comments directed toward specific children or students. Board members should not respond to issues presented by speakers unless clarification is necessary. Matters of concern raised under public comment will be referred to the proper official for investigation and future board consideration if necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Hackman. All right. The board would like to recognize Mr. Steve Short, VPE.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Ms. Robinson, I probably get an extra 30 minutes since there's not a lot of public expression here.
Not when you sit on the wrong side, Mr.
Of course,
Short.
no, I'll yield to these two young'uns right here, most definitely. I just have a couple of brief things. 1976-77, as Yogi Berra was accredited with saying deja vu all over again, it snowed a lot that year, my very first year of teaching. And I got a lot of days off, to be honest. And we had flooding. Well, Helene's already been through. So on the plus side, you know, there's just 4 or 5 more weeks of snow maybe. I just thought I'd give you that little bit of information. Some of you were around during that time. The other thing I want to say is I just want to say, give a note of appreciation to you as a board for the steps that you take as a team and the time that you take in order to see success and to maximize that success for Dickenson County Public Schools. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I didn't use my full 30 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Short.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see. Don't see Ms. Mullins. We have a DEA
No, sir,
representative.
I don't see that.
Do you have anybody else for public comment? All right. So our next agenda item is the consent agenda, which includes the approval of minutes, approval of monthly invoices, revenue and expenditure summary, discussion of school activity funds, approval of field trips, approval of new elementary school construction invoices, and the approval of the construction bank reconciliation document and the Dickenson County Public Schools health statement account. Are there any questions or discussion on the consent agenda, board members? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next agenda item is information for the school board. Mrs. Robinson.
Thank you, sir. Just some information really quickly regarding the update on the data breach with Power School. We were one of 10 school divisions in Region 7 and one of thousands of school divisions across the nation whose data was breached. I want to recognize Ryan Wallace, who's been really just in front of this the whole time since we received the email. You have before you a Power School information sheet that we have posted on our Facebook page and also on our, or will post, I believe, on our Facebook page and also on our website regarding this. And basically, the additional documentations outlines that citizens and community members will have complimentary identity protection and credit monitoring services for affected individuals. Notification is a critical component, and so that's why Power School is going to handle the notification to individuals whose information has been hacked and breached. So again, we have this for you. We also have it on our website, and we also have it on our Facebook page. Any questions regarding that? Our second item is the installation of our weapons detection device, Open Gates. The training and installation will be Monday, January the 27th, and then the implementation date will be Tuesday, January the 28th. And so we're delighted to have that detection device up with us, and we feel that it will be much more efficient, much more effective, and students will be more easily go through those detection devices in a more effective way. So we're looking forward to those. And also, because everyone's been asking this, and I've heard Mr. Short 1977 several times, as of today, we have missed a total of 17 days due to inclement weather, which has included flooding and snow. I have to check. Mark, is that correct? Okay, thank you. 5 of those days were in the first semester, and we requested a waiver for the 5 days and received 3 for Hurricane Helene. 3 days were virtual last week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which leaves us 7 more days to use virtual days, as we may use up to a total of 10 virtual days a year. This will leave us 11 days to be made up, which may require adjustments and revision to the 24-25 calendar. Now, in that, we have had discussions of waivers with the Virginia Department of Education. We've had discussions of emergency days. We're not quite sure how all of that is going to potentially impact us, but as of right now, we have 11 days to be made up without any additional waivers or anything else that way. Now, we will use virtual learning days as sparingly as possible, but as people remind me, this is just January. We still have February through April to go through. So again, we will keep you updated on that, and we will have additional waivers and hopefully information about additional waivers and revisions to the calendar in February and March. Are there any questions regarding days missed or anything in that manner? It certainly has been just one of those winters, and we're hoping that February through April will be much warmer for many reasons, and that we can see our students again. Thank you, Mr. Hicks.
All right. The next agenda item is good news from our school.
This one is difficult because the person that we're going to recognize tonight has 30 years of service with our school board, with the Dickenson County Public Schools, but 21 of those years, 21 and a half of those years are at the central office. I can tell you that since we've returned, we find excuses to text him. Okay, what do you think? Or is this correct? Or he's still in our office, although not physically, but he's still there. And he is someone who has left such an impact and a mark on our office, on our schools, on our staff. Mr. Mullins, as personnel director, has probably had impact on every person that has been hired in the Dickenson County Public Schools. And so not only is he the personnel director, but he's also one of our biggest and best PR persons, public relations persons that we have. So at this time, I would like to recognize Mark Mullins, 30 years of service, 21 and a half years at the central office. Mr. Mullins, would you come up to the front, please? Bring the baby.
Thank you. Yes, that helps. Headache. No. It's bright. Yeah, that helps.
Somebody call my name? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think so.
You think so? We'll wait until.
Yes, sir.
They're good. They're our future students. Yeah.
Yeah, no joke. Yes, sir. Well, get being a clutch,
I can get Mr. Mullins on mine.
those kind of students.
You don't recover from that.
That's right.
You don't. Mr. Chair, we also have a second person we'd like to recognize. And we thank the Mullins family for coming and celebrating this special day and sharing it with us. That meant a whole lot. Thank you. And we'll send a picture.
Rough time.
Mr. Chair, we also have a second member of our staff who is who's retiring. I don't see Mr. Byers here, but Mr. Donald Byers, in recognition of an extraordinary career spanning 23 years of service as a bus driver and 21 years as a teacher, during which, with his unwavering dedication, compassion, and commitment, has touched countless lives. And so we have a certificate of excellence for Mr. Donald Byers, and we will present this to him, and we would like to recognize him for his service. So thank you, Mr. Byers. We missed you. And thank you. And that completes our retirees. And I'd like to, at this time, recognize Ms. Martin. Ms. Martin will share with us the enrollment and attendance percentages for December.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Good evening, Board. This evening I share with you, always hit that, December attendance and enrollment. In tonight's package, you have the monthly attendance percentages, the comparison over the last 4 years, the entry and withdrawals, and due to the weather, there's no attendance committee meeting notes, nor is there any pictures of incentives because, of course, no one's been here to send me any pictures. I did include a picture of the billboards, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, of our upcoming billboards that's going to be posted. But first, let me share with you the enrollment. For December, we show a total of 1,719 students enrolled in K through 12, and we have 79 students that are in the pre-K 3-year-old program and postgraduate, for a total of 1,798 students, which is the same amount of students that we had last month. So we're even with last month. For our attendance percentage for the month of December, Ridgeview High School once again came in at the highest with 89.52, and Ridgeview Elementary School came at 88.84. We did drop below the 90 percentile, but with that being the month of December, that's historically what happens, because everyone seems to want to take those extra couple of days off after SOLs and close to Christmas. So we're hoping, not sure what this month is going to look like, but hopefully when we can get back in school, we're hoping to rebound from that. What I like, our chronic absenteeism, on a good note, our chronic absenteeism is showing fantastic. We're doing real well with that. The data will show you that in comparison to last year, the elementary school has an improvement of over 2% from last year. The middle school is at a 1% improvement, and the high school is right at 10% improvement from last year. So we're doing real well in chronic absenteeism. So I'm real pleased with that. I did share with you what our next billboards will look like, and as soon as the weather clears where they can get up to put those up. What we're doing this year is, of course, we have sponsors that are helping us with this incentive, is we're wanting to highlight, of course, the elementary school and the middle school will be competition-based where the students can be stars. For the high school, we're wanting to highlight success of our students and in different things that go on at the high school with extracurricular in our clubs, in different activities such as athletics, our other teams like the Scholastic team, the robotics team, our clubs, National Honor Society, the Beta team, the club's FFA, and I apologize if I leave anyone out because there's so many, the Beta team, the DECA team, different organizations that have clubs. And so each time, and the billboards usually run for about a month and a half to 2 months. So each time we'll highlight. The first one that we did was athletics. And you'll see in the picture, we have a student representing each sport. And each one of those students has perfect or near perfect attendance. And then we ask each coach to pick out one of their students to represent their sport that had good attendance. And so that's what we'll do. The next one coming up, we'll do the Scholastic team, choir, band, robotics, clubs and that. And then we're also looking at doing one, the following one will be the CTE, sort of with a theme, something along the lines of, be present, start your career, something along those lines to sort of highlight what our students are doing and, be present, start your career at Ridgeview, success starts at Ridgeview, that sort of thing. So we're tickled to have sponsors that help us with this endeavor. And so I wanted to share that with you, and hopefully the weather will clear enough that they can get those billboards up. We try to do one in the Clintwood area and one towards Clinchco, Hayside, in that area so that we cover the whole county. And so I wanted to share that with you. Are there any questions about enrollment or attendance at this time?
We especially would like to thank Communities and Schools and the Behavioral Health, Dickenson County Behavioral
Yes.
Health Board. They are sponsors with us on this, and they're excellent sponsors. And so we want
Yes.
to also recognize them.
Yes. And then hopefully next month I can share with you, Behavioral Health is also sponsoring T-shirts for us for attendance, and we're in the process of having those produced. And so we're especially thankful to those folks as well. And so next month I'll have a T-shirt for you to show you the T-shirts that they're doing. So our sponsors do wonderful things for us, and without them we wouldn't be able to do what we're able to do for our students and to try to promote attendance. Hearing no questions, then I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Next agenda item is the transfer of the Sand Lake Elementary School property to the Dickenson County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. And I'll ask Mr. Mullins, Scott Mullins, to perhaps add to this agenda item also. On Friday, December the 20th, the U.S. Corps of Engineers staff, Dickenson County, and the Dickenson County Public Schools signed the final contractual documents for Sand Lake Elementary School property, which officially completed the school construction project and in compliance with all the deeds and contracts.
Mr. Robinson, you may want to turn your mic just a little bit towards you.
I'm sorry, you can't hear me? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I think I'm too loud, and thank you. The signing of the documents took place at Ridgeview Middle School. The U.S. Corps of Staff toured Ridgeview Elementary School, and they were so positive. and so complimentary of Ridgeview Elementary School and what the core funding had provided for students in Dickinson County. Myself, Larry Barton, Scott Mullins were present for the signing of all the documents and the transfer of the property at Sand Lake, and the signing of the documents, as we've said, and the transfer of the Sand Lake Elementary School officially confirms DCPS and Dickinson County compliance with the contracts. Mr. Mullins, would you like to add anything?
Not really, other than to say I appreciate Larry Barton and the county attorney's work to try to pull things together, and also appreciate the Corps of Engineers team coming down. It's been a long process. It seemed almost surreal that it was finally ending, but hopefully we've gotten everything done, and just a matter now of getting things recorded, which I think the Corps was going to do, working with Larry. So as far as I know, our interactions with the Corps of Engineers are officially behind us.
Thank you. One project that we have still going is the awnings for Ridgeview High School and Ridgeview Middle School. And as you recall, that project is going to be completed in the summer of 2025. So we are looking forward to that. And so that will complete the initial project for Ridgeview. I'm sure there will be others that we'll want to do as the time goes on. So again, just a good day, a milestone day for Dickinson County Public Schools and the Board of Supervisors, and we thank them for their support during this entire time. Are there any questions or anything with that? I also think that the property transfer included the below Haysaw High School, and so I understand that that has been awarded a grant. So we were very happy that we were a part of that and could transfer that as quickly as we did. Thank you, sir.
Very good. Next is the adoption of the VSBA Code of Conduct for school board members. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to review these. These are really ones that we've done each and every year, not any changes, but are there any questions or anything about the VSBA Code of Conduct? If you don't have any, do I hear a motion to approve the VSBA Code of Conduct for school board members?
So moved.
Is there a second? Rick, I'm sorry, I missed you. We do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next is the approval of the DCPS policy IKE, which is early dismissal guidelines specifically for early graduation. Mr. Deal.
Good evening. Hope everybody's doing good and keeping warm. I think it's pretty cold. I'm looking forward to 46 on Friday. Hopefully we'll get there. So I think you were seeing a copy of the policy. What we had done, not just me or just the school board, or central office rather, it was the directors, the principals, and the school counselors. We all got together and talked about how we could streamline this process just so students and the school counselors could determine whether a child is eligible to graduate early or not. So there are some things that were highlighted on the packet that you were given. So for a student to be considered for early graduation, the student must meet the following requirements. One of the requirements is they must be a senior in good standings. And I think we can all agree with that one. They must have 20 credits. They must have passed all SOL tests and CT competencies and hold at least one CTE certification. They must turn 18 within their senior year. Students who choose to graduate early will not be eligible to participate in senior trips, prom, or other events reserved for students who have completed the academic year. This policy ensures a smooth transition for early graduation while maintaining the integrity of senior activities. And on the second page, I had added just a little more. We will consider extenuating circumstances because, even though we may say these are absolute, something will come up that we'll have to back down from that. So we will take on we will look at the extenuating circumstances and make that determination. One other piece to this is it is recommended that our virtual students intending to graduate early attend in person during their final semester. This allows them to complete all required coursework, finalize graduation requirements, participate in key senior activities such as senior class photos, cap and gowns, and other end-of-year activities. This past year, I think we had a few students that graduated early, so I think we were trying to put in place some, I guess, not necessarily stops to it or anything like that, but just some things that they have to meet up to, because some of those guys who went and asked for that did not meet all the requirements and they weren't eligible to graduate. So I think this policy will require an approval from you guys. Or if there's any additions that you'd like for me to add or anything you want us to change.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Deal?
I think it's well needed, so, I go ahead with that and move to pass that policy.
First, we have a motion to approve the policy as presented. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Deal.
Thank you.
And next agenda item is revision of DCPS policy for cell phone free education. Mr. Martin.
Good evening again, board members. It was brought to our attention that our students that take dual enrollment and governor classes were having issues with the policy as far as needing to have access to personal communication devices. So what we've done is we've added an exemption statement in the policy. We sent this to you, I believe, yesterday, and I'll read that statement to you. I highlighted it in the policy that we sent to you yesterday. Students participating in dual enrollment and governor school classes, are exempt from the personal communication device policy. They may use personal laptops, MacBooks, or iPads for academic purposes directly related to their coursework only during these classes. However, the use of personal communication devices such as phones, smartwatches, or other non-academic electronic devices remain prohibited during school hours. At this time, I ask if there are any questions or comments related to this additional statement that we wish to add to this cell phone policy. By adding this, we felt like, we didn't want to hinder those students who are taking advanced classes and dual enrollment classes by limiting their use of being able to use the devices that they need for classes.
Can you repeat again which device they'll be able to use? A MacBook?
Personal laptops, MacBooks, or iPads.
Okay, that is actually, I guess, issued to them then, right? Or they would be able to have their own.
Yes, they're
Personal.
personal ones.
Okay. But no, the cell phone remains intact then, as far as the phone.
Yes. However, the use of personal communication devices such as phones, smartwatches, and other non-academic electronic devices remain prohibited during school hours. Any other questions?
No questions, anybody?
Is there anything additional that you feel we need to add to that statement or delete from that statement?
I think it's needed to help those kids be able to do what they need to do. And so, still the phone policy applies, and then when they're not in those classes, they can't use it. So I think it's a sound policy right now.
Okay. At this
Time
time,
only
then-
tells, they're right.
At this time, then I would need to request a motion and an approval.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you.
All right, this time we'll have board comments. Mr. Mullins?
Well, I'll tell you, it was good to have Mark Mullins here, but not under those circumstances. I think that's a really tough loss. Mark is a class act, but it was wonderful to see those twins, too. And I think that by the implementation of the cell phone free education, it's going to be a real benefit to the students and the faculty. And I'm really happy to see the weapon detection device system being implemented. And that gives more security to all of our students. And, you know, that I think other schools will follow by those things. So I think that we're in a very positive atmosphere here. And just thankful to be a part of it.
Well, I agree with seeing Mark up here. That's bittersweet. 30 years, he deserves some time off with those twins, but we're all going to miss him. He wore a lot of hats and did a lot of things, and he's a good man on top of that, and he will be missed, but well deserving. I'm also glad to see the open gates getting installed and implemented. I think that'll relieve some fears and some pressures and take some work off of our staff in the morning. It won't take as many teachers doing the lines to check, and that'll streamline that process. And also, as far as the early release guidelines, the additions and the requirements, I'm glad to see those added as well. I think that points out a little more clearly what's expected if that's what you plan on doing with yourself and graduating early, and gives them maybe a few more goals and a few more things that they have to do in order to make that successful. And we're in a new year, and I'm sure there'll be challenges that's unforeseen right now, but I'm sure that we'll meet them head on and do the best that we can for this school system. Well, I guess we're probably all going to make the same speech 5 times, so somebody will have to vote on it. But I'd just like to congratulate Mr. Mullins and Mr. Byers. They're surely going to be missed around here. Really pleased and to be part of having the open gate system. You know, there's going to be very few, be few and far between the school systems who have that type of device around. So, you know, that's something we all should be proud of, and it's got to make things a little bit more streamlined coming in and out of the buildings without having as many hits and as the metal detectors put off. So, looking forward to getting that in there, and I'm sure everybody's going to. I think we'll be amazed at the efficiency of those compared to what we've been having to go through. But saying that, I definitely would like to say a big thank you for all those who have been doing that for a while. I know it's been taxing on everybody since we began it, but we can maybe see a little bit of a finish line where it's going to get a little bit easier. You know, other than that, we're just seemed like we've been in a holding pattern. You know, we were kind of celebrating things at the December meeting and some of the accomplishments of our kids, and hopefully we can just get back in and they can begin to accomplish more. I know some folks are going to be up against some tight testing deadlines right now, but hopefully we can make some adjustments and make a plan that works for everyone.
It's like Mr. Short said earlier, it's nothing new. We've been here before. We missed the entire month of January, February, and March, and when we got back in school, we had a flood that kept us out 14 more days, I think, or 2 weeks, and it was a tough, very different time. We had time on the day and did everything we could to try to make it a school year, and the state cooperated with us to help us. They knew this. We weren't the only people in that fix. Several of us in Southwest Virginia were in the same boat, but the main thing is we keep our kids safe, and I think we do a pretty good job with that. I'm very happy that the new weapons detecting system the machine is in place, and I hope that all the good things that I've heard about it will make it a lot easier on the staff and the students, and I'm certainly happy that we were able to do that, and thanks to all the people that made that happen. It's very special And it's quite rare in Southwest Virginia to have that. I think, Mr. Officer, you might correct me on this, but I think only 14 school divisions in our region, Region 7, have,
Two or three. Two or three, sir.
well,
I'm not certain of the number.
that's quite an accomplishment, and I'm certainly glad that we were able to make it something that's more doable, more convenient, and certainly makes it work better for our students and staff. And let's just be patient and try to hang on to the weather and hope our kids are safe and healthy and happy.
I'll reiterate the statements for Mark Mullins. He's been such a huge part of Dickinson County Schools for a long time, important with everything that he's done. He's been great to work with for me as a board member. I appreciate him for that. Usually you're the star of the show when you come in and do this tonight, but he brought his beautiful twin grandkids, and they stole the show, I think, which is fine with him, I'm sure. And congratulate Deidre for taking over in that position. Look forward to working with her. I know she's going to do great. And congratulations also to Mr. Donald Vyers for his years of service, and I know he looks forward to what's next. Other than that, just a good start to 2025 tonight. Good meeting. Look forward to it. Excited for a great year, and everybody stay warm.
Mr. Hicks, may I make one announcement, please, sir? On Friday, January the 24th, we will be distributing meals in front of on the Ridgeview campus between the hours of 9 to 12:30. Parents and families can come by and pick up food. And so we hope that a lot of our parents and families can take advantage of that. So this has been hard on families and children, and so we want to try to be able to be as accommodating and as helpful as possible. So a special thanks to Ms. Compton and the cafeteria staff for providing that. Thank you, sir.
So at this time, we'll go into closed session. Closed session pursuant to Section 2.2-3711, Paragraph A of the Code of Virginia. There will be a closed session for the purpose of 1, employment issues relating to discussion or consideration of specific individuals for employment as bus drivers, substitutes, FMLA resignations, naming interim administrative position, and division superintendent's evaluation pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A. And 2, to consult with legal counsel regarding the investment of public funds associated with school construction and consultation regarding actual or probable litigation, along with consultation regarding specific matters requiring legal advice pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-71A, 6, 7, and 8 of the Code of Virginia. Do I hear a motion to go into closed session?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're now in closed session. Is there a motion to come out of closed session?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now out of closed session. Ms. Robinson, will you please read the certification?
Yes, sir. Whereas the Dickenson County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, now therefore be it resolved that the Dickenson County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only the public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened or heard, discussed, or considered. Would you please certify?
I certify.
I certify.
I certify.
I certify.
I certify.
Are there any motions coming from closed session?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the employment recommendations as presented in closed session.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Do we have any other business to discuss? Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?